When runners have any kind of pain, typically they end up wondering कि क्या करना चाहिए, आइस लगाना चाहिए, हॉट पैक करना चाहिए, किससे पेन चला जाएगा. As I tell my runners, if you do the right thing exactly when the injury happens या जब पेन स्टार्ट होता है तो पेन आपका बढ़ता नहीं है, इंजरी वहीं स्टॉप हो जाती है. That's what today's video is about. I'm going to tell you exactly in what situations you should be using ice and when to use hot pack. Hi, I'm Dr. Rajani Patil. I'm a spine and sports physiotherapist practicing here in Shivaji Park for about 24 years. My clinic name is Orthosports Physiotherapy. As I tell my runners, ice pack should be your best friend. In fact, post your runs, आपका foam roller और आपका ice pack ये आपका best friend होना चाहिए. It should be part of your recovery toolkit. Now there are few situations where a hot pack will be needed and I'll tell you about that. But for most runners, for most of the time, an ice pack is going to be the most handy. Why? When you run, it's a repetitive movement, so you keep using the same muscles, the same joints. So you tend to get something called overuse injuries. An overuse injury just means that there is some inflammation that has built up in the joint or in the muscle just because you've overused that particular muscle and joint. So what does ice do? Ice quickly settles that inflammation. In fact, the sooner that you use an ice pack, the better immediately after the run. In fact, my runners, I tell them, अगर आपको pain है, अगर आपको injury है, you start using an ice pack. 10 minutes, 3 times a day for 1 week continuous. Don't make the mistake of starting, stopping, doing it once a day. All those things don't necessarily help. Again, it does depend on severity of the pain, whether you will continue to run on it and then do ice pack, or you just want to do ice pack and let it settle for a couple of days before resuming your runs again. There are 5 scenarios that you will definitely need ice pack for, and it's best that you do it immediately after your runs. Scenario number 1. If you have any pain, even if it is a small 1 to 2 out of 10 pain during the run, while you're running you're feeling the pain, or as soon as you stop running and your body cools down, the pain comes, that's when you will reach out for an ice pack. Scenario number 2. If you see any swelling anywhere in the lower half of the body, your hip, knee, ankles, these definitely have to make sure that there is no pain or swelling. So if you see any swelling anywhere, put an ice pack immediately and that will help recover that fast. Scenario number 3. If you've done, say, an interval or a speed training, you've done a hill run, you've done a longer run than usual, something that your body is not really used to just yet, then come home and do an ice pack, because this will help your body adapt to these new training patterns better and you will not pick up an injury from this. Scenario number 4. If you have done a run where you feel that you're going to get some soreness, or if it's, like I said, a new activity, or if you're in general very prone to, say, DOMS in the calf or the thigh muscle, then use an ice pack when you come back home and the soreness will be much better in the next run. Scenario number 5. After a 21 or a 42, if you are doing anything close to that, it's often better to do ice pack rather than stretching. In fact, research says that deep tissue massage, foam rolling, stretching, you don't want to do too much of this after a 21, say, upar ke runs. So for these long runs, ice pack usually will settle all the overuse that has happened in the joints very fast. So now when should you use a hot pack, you might be asking. A hot pack, you want to use it very sparingly. I tell my runners always ice, never heat. But there are a few situations where you might need a hot pack, and this is, say, if you, before your run, you get up in the morning, you're typically very stiff in the mornings, especially, say, your back or your hip feels stiff. So you can use a hot pack for about 5 minutes before you head out for your run, so that will make your run a little bit easy. If you are, in general, your mobility is not that great and you tend to be very stiff, then you can use a hot pack as a part of your pre-race warm-up just before you head out. Just do it at some of the joints where you feel you need some amount of loosening up so your race is better. Another scenario, if you have been suffering from discomfort, pain or stiffness in the lower back or the ITB area or the hip area, I wouldn't do hot pack on your knee or your ankle joints, but lower back and hip area, if you are one of those people who suffer from chronic pain and usually after a run this tends to get worse, then you may want to use a hot pack before. Outside of these scenarios, for a runner, I would always advise an ice. How exactly to do an ice pack correctly? I find that runners are doing even ice pack wrong. So the way to do it, you want to apply ice on the area that hurts with a little bit of compression. So for example, if my elbow is hurting, of course your elbow is not going to hurt, you're running. So if it's your knee, for example, if your knee hurts, then you are going to put ice pack surrounding the whole joint. Don't just put it on one side. Remember, the joint is inflamed, so you want to cover up the whole. Use a big ice pack or use 2 ice packs from both sides and then wrap it up with a crepe bandage, with anything that you find that can give some support there and some amount of compression. Leave that there for about 10 minutes. Minimum is 10 minutes for an ice pack. If your pain severity is quite high and you have to start running because of your training plan, then I suggest that you do ice packs every 3 hours, 10 minutes, and that will really settle it quite fast. But at the minimum, you need to be doing it 2 to 3 times a day. Another trick that you can use for quick pain relief using an ice pack or an ice cube rather is called ice cube massage. For people who have very pinpointed pain, say सिर्फ एक एरिया आपका दुख रहा है, एंकल का साइड का एरिया दुख रहा है या नी का lateral aspect on the side, one spot is hurting, then what you can do is take one ice cube, उसका handkerchief में wrap करो and just rub it on that area till that one ice cube melts away. This is a very targeted way to do ice and it has helped lots of runners with pain management really fast. So if you think ये वीडियो आपके लिए हेल्पफुल रहा है, प्लीज अपने रनिंग बडीज से शेयर करिए, because lot of runners do make this mistake and they don't realize that this is why the pain is getting worse. I always say ice, never heat. Follow this and you will be running pain free in no time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I'm going to put out TMM playlist ki videos twice a week. I'm going to share with you. So make sure that you subscribe and also hit the bell icon so that as soon as I publish a video, it will be in your inbox.